Hello, welcome to Ogtv News. I am Mojisola Shulaja. Top honored stories. House of Representatives bows to pressure on controversial infectious disease bill 2020. FCT judiciary commences virtual court proceedings. Bank customers carry out 3.11 million e-transactions amid lockdown easing. UK launches COVID-19 contact tracing app. PFA chief mulls two halves of less than 45 minutes for Premier League return. The time to clean our city of any dirt begins with individual action for collective clean communities. Once again, welcome to the news. I am Mojisola Shulaja. Nigeria has recorded 245 cases of COVID-19, bringing the total number of cases to 2,802. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirmed this via its Twitter handle on Monday night. The center said 6 deaths have been recorded, while the 245 new cases were recorded in 16 states, 76 in Lagos, 37 in Katsina, 23 in Kano, 19 in FCT, 18 in Borno, 10 in Edo, 9 in Bauchi, 6 in Adamawa, 5 each in Oyo and Ogun, while 1 each in Ekiti, Osun, Benue, Niger and Zamfara states. Reports have hazarded that the federal government might be forced to implement another lockdown if Nigerians do not comply with social distancing order. Another patient has died of coronavirus-related complications in Lagos. The Lagos State Ministry of Health made this known via its Twitter handle on Tuesday. It also said that 14 more patients were discharged in the state. Reports hazard that Lagos has recorded a total of 31 fatalities and 261 recoveries. With the 76 new cases of COVID-19 infection confirmed by NCDC, total cases in Lagos is now 1,199. From Nasarawa State, the government has announced an additional case of COVID-19. Governor Abdullahi Sule, who disclosed this while briefing the newsman, said the new case is a driver of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, who transported samples of persons believed to have been infected with COVID-19 in the state. Nasarawa State government has so far confirmed no fewer than 12 cases of COVID-19 with 1 death. A frontline broadcast journalist and general manager of Nigerian Television Authority, Katsina State, Alhaji Ainde Shuaga, has tested positive for coronavirus. The broadcaster had worked in several states and was a newscaster at the NTA headquarters before being posted to Katsina State. The Katsina State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, has expressed concern over the report. In a statement, NUJ Chairman Katsina State Council, Tukar Dan Ali, says the union sympathized with its infected member. The union observed that there was no time in the recent history of Katsina State that media workers needed support from government and no non-governmental organizations than now. Meanwhile, the family of Alhaji Ainde Shuaga has appreciated Nigerians for the numerous phone calls and concerns raised about the report of his testing positive to COVID-19. In a statement by Kehinde Shuaga on behalf of the family, Alhaji Shuaga is in high spirit and not bedridden, as he personally called in the NCDC officials to carry out the test on him. The family, which strongly believed that COVID-19 is not a death sentence, believed God for healing, has therefore sought for prayers for speedy and divine healing. The family also appreciates the NUJ National Secretariat, Katsina State and FCT councils of the union, as well as individuals for their quick intervention. Every individual, corporate organizations, and authorities at all strata of government need to put efforts together at ensuring that the spread of coronavirus pandemic is reduced to the barest minimum by ensuring that the citizenry keep to the measure of social distancing. This was the view of respondents who spoke with Ogtv News on many benefits derivable from high adherence to keeping safe from the coronavirus pandemic. Peter Falomo reports.
It is no more news that the pandemic of coronavirus ravaging the world has undeniably claiming many lives, while thousands are passing through pains at various isolation centers. This is apparent as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic continues to grip many nations with fear, irrespective of status, as men and women of all races continue to tremble with concerns. Parts of guidelines of keeping safe is not limited to the use of face mask, social distancing, washing of hands, and the use of hand sanitizer. Those who spoke with Ogtv News shared their opinions on the benefits of staying at home order.
It is our own personal responsibility to follow the instruction of government that we should stay off ourselves. Majority of us are not used to staying at home. Of course, we know, but it's just for a time. And because of our health, because of the situation we have found ourselves, not only here, but all over the world.
The advice is that we should stay at home, and even if we are going to go out at all, we should protect ourselves and then keep social distance from each other. By that, we will be able to slow down the spread of the pandemic.
Health-wise, it is not good. Stature-wise, it is not good. That is the effect of not abiding by the rules and regulations by the government. So if you stay at home and you take all the precautions, it is very good, not only for your health, for your family, for your state, and for the country in general.
Although with COVID-19 pandemic touching many areas, social and religious gatherings remain under prohibition for opening. Schools at all levels still closed, while many offices adopt work from home policy. Respondents, however, speak on duty of care expected from management of corporate organizations such as banks, food factories, eateries, and those under the approval of the government not to shirk in their responsibilities to their customers at this period of COVID-19 pandemic.
Corporate organizations must adhere strictly to this directive of government and the health official, or else we pray something that is happening in another client will not happen here in Nigeria.
You have to queue up anywhere. For example, the banks that you have mentioned, the ATM galleries, where you have to queue, of course you know who you have come after or who is in front of you.
They urged the people to stay at home to avoid unnecessary contact. Peter Falomo, Ogtv News.
The Ogun State Ministry of Environment has decontaminated the GTB Bank area where the dead COVID-19 suspect was picked up. In a statement by the Commissioner of Environment, Honorable Abiodun Abudu Balogun, the ministry has therefore assured all to go about their normal duties without any fear. The role of women in nation building cannot be overemphasized, as they are believed to be managers of their respective homes, even in times of crisis. At this time of lockdown and stay-at-home order to curb the spread of the novel coronavirus pandemic, responsibilities of women at keeping their home in order were highlighted by respondents who spoke with Ogtv News in Abeokuta. Ife Sholade's report is presented in this package.
Since the outbreak of the novel coronavirus in the country, various strategies have been put in place in order to mitigate the spread of the virus among the citizenry. One of those measures put in place is the stay-at-home order by both the federal and state governments to contain the spread of the virus and track down those infected as quickly as possible. Going by this order, it has been observed that bulk of the responsibility fall on women in every home, as they are considered as managers of their homes.
Whenever the opportunity arises for anything, it is the woman that will make sure the whole house, the whole family is well being looked after. Look at even the children. The children are at home now. She should make sure the children are properly taken care of. And stay at home means no going out. So it means a lot of pressure on the woman of the home, which is the mother. So that is why the position of a woman in a home or nation or anything is very crucial.
We have to calculate on the food, you understand, because there is no way, when you ask people to stay at home, you have to calculate what they're going to eat for that 14 days. So even if your husband is giving you a penny or is a million, you should be able to calculate within that 2 weeks of stay at home, how are you going to manage your resources in the aspect of satisfying the husband, satisfying the children. Like your brother that says, so it's like, now it boils down to even because what's the essence of you cooking and your children will not be able to eat?
Women in their capacity are to ensure that all things are in place for their homes to be conducive for both their husbands and children, even at this crucial time.
I think it's high time that women should change our orientation. Most women, due to pressure and tension, the temperament is on the average. Sometimes our temperament is poor. So now we should be able to manage our home. Learn to say sorry. It goes a long way. You know, men, sometimes when they are hungry, they may take their shirt and leave the house. But now, where are they going to live to? Nowhere to watch ball, no general, cannot gather. So what they want to do now is they are in the confinement of their houses, their homes. So we should be able to manage our home effectively and the children too. Especially if you're the one that has kids and you know children can be sometimes naughty. You have to know how to manage the children as well as your partner too.
The children will step on toes. Even our bigger husbands, our big babies' husbands, will step on our toes. We will just try to take it easy and calm down so that things can work out well. This order to stay at home is for our benefit and it's for the good of the whole of the country, so that we won't get the infection to be producing every corner, everywhere, and you don't even know who has it anyway. And so it is an advice and our appeal that we should please calm down, and by the special grace of Jehovah God, none of us will be a victim of this pandemic.
To respondents, women at this period of health challenge facing the world at large need to put their expertise and God's-given talents to use by making the home a safe haven for the family.
And still to come in the news, National Health Emergency Bill in the Senate. Details shortly after this break. You must welcome back. You're still watching Ogtv News on 100, on GoTV 260, on DSTV and 25 UHF. Residents of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, observed the stay-at-home order initiated by the federal and state government to curtail the spread of coronavirus in the country. Ido Fabajo gives an update on the lockdown order.
Monitoring the lockdown order in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, some motorists were seen on the road while being checked by security officers at various checkpoints. Many of them presented their identity cards even when they are not on duty. Ogtv News caught up with the special advisor to the Ogun State Governor on Security, retired AIG Olushola Subar, who was monitoring the compliance order. He says he is pleased with the people's compliance.
Just going around to observe what is happening and I'm impressed with the level of compliance today, although we still have some people violating this lockdown directive, but that this directive for us to stay at home is for the good of everybody. It's for the safety of everybody. We need to just comply with what the directive that the government is given. It will, it will save our lives. That is what people should know.
Ogtv camera lens also caught up with a teenage food vendor who says she has to come out to sell food for those on essential duties.
I'm selling food. There is no market. People that are going to work, maybe they are working at filling station, hospital, like security, they can buy food.
Some motorcycles were impounded by the Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps Trace at INT'L, Abeokuta. Some key guidelines issued with respect to public places include mandatory wearing of face masks, adherence to temperature check, strict hand washing and use of sanitizers, observance of social distancing, and ban on public gathering. Ido Fabajo, Ogtv News.
A national health emergency bill has been introduced for the first reading in the Senate. The bill was sponsored by the lawmaker representing Enugu North Senatorial District, Senator Chukwuma Utazi, at the resumed plenary on Tuesday in the Senate Chamber of the National Assembly, Abuja. It is not clear if the bill is similar to the controversial Control of Infectious Diseases Bill, which scaled the first and second readings last week in the House of Representatives. Presiding over the session, Senate President Ahmed Lawan directed that the bill be distributed to senators at plenary. However, the bill was not considered beyond the first reading on Tuesday. And the controversial Control of Infectious Diseases Bill 2020, being debated on the floor of the House of Representatives, will be put to public hearing, the Speaker, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has said. Femi Gbajabiamila, who seemed to have bowed to public pressure, stated this during Tuesday's plenary at the lower chamber of the Tuesday's Assembly in Abuja. He, however, disagreed with those who condemned the timing of the bill, insisting that it was appropriate to enact such a bill at this time. The Speaker made the remarks against the backdrop of the controversies that have trailed the bill when it was speedily passed through the first and second readings on Tuesday last week. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 will engage about 3,300 informants to report suspected cases of coronavirus in Kano State. The PTF Chairman and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Bas Mustafa, revealed this on Tuesday in Abuja. He made the disclosure when he led members of the task force to the House of Representatives Chamber of the National Assembly in Abuja. Mustafa briefed the lawmakers on the measures being put in place by the federal government to address the situation in Kano and curb the spread of the disease in the state. He explained that the task force has mobilized the informant for a house-to-house search and report suspected cases of COVID-19 in the state. As part of efforts to address the situation, he revealed that a total of 58 technical staff from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, and the World Health Organization, WHO, have been deployed in the state. According to Mustafa, the COVID-19 testing capacity in Kano has been increased to 400 per day, and plans are in place to increase it to 2,000 daily by the end of the week. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board had engaged the services of experts to disinfect the board's headquarters in Abuja, 11 zonal and 36 state offices. The body said that disinfection was necessary to protect its workers who will be resuming to the office after the COVID-19 break. The examination body also directed its workers across the country to observe social distancing and compulsory wearing of face masks. JAMB Registrar Professor Ishak Oloyede had announced closure of its offices nationwide, directing candidates and the general public with inquiries and complaints to visit its online platforms. The registrar said the board had upgraded its online ticketing system to be able to answer complaints, particularly on the just concluded 2020 UTME. The Federal Capital Territory Judiciary on Tuesday held its first ever virtual court proceedings. The session was in 3 courts presided over by Justices Salisu Garba, Hussein Baba Yusuf, and Peter Afen. Speaking during the test run, Justice Ishak Belu, FCT Chief Judge, said such innovations will help to address some of the lapses in smooth justice delivery. He said virtual court proceedings have become necessary in view of the coronavirus pandemic, necessitating the social distancing. There is need to raise awareness of midwives and the vital role they play in reducing maternal and neonatal morbidity against all odds in the society. Stakeholders in the health sector stated this while reflecting on the significance of International Midwives Day across the world. Yusuf Ganiu reports.
International Midwife Day is celebrated on the 5th of May every year, basically to appreciate the works of midwives. Midwives are women who have practical knowledge of helping pregnant women to give birth. This year's theme, Midwives with Women, celebrate, demonstrate, mobilize, unite. Our time is now, could not be more relevant and important in the midst of this global pandemic. Midwives have risen to this extraordinary challenge to support one another in the fight to protect women and babies. According to the World Health Organization, quality midwifery reduces maternal and newborn mortality and stillbirth rate by over 80% and reduces preterm labor and birth by 24%.
Midwives play an important advocacy role in protecting the rights of women, girls and fellow midwives by ensuring they can exercise their full human rights, especially their rights to reproductive and sexual health. As midwives, we have come a long way, and I know that we can rely on you to work with WHO, the ICM, and all global partners to help all women, newborns, and their families to not only survive, but to thrive and transform the world that we live in.
The National President of Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Alhaji Rafiu Adeniji, also reflects on the significance of the day.
Midwives takes care of the family, the women, the newborn, the group, the community, and the nation at large. When midwives are supported, they are defenders of women's rights, and these they have been doing all over the world.
Stakeholders and government at all levels must rise to their responsibilities to support the enormous potentials of the midwifery in discharging their duties effectively. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Dr. Mashdesa Mwete, World Health Organization Regional Director for Africa, on Tuesday commended midwives across Africa for commitment to ensuring the safety of mothers and their newborn. Mwete said this in a statement issued by the WHO African Regional Office on Tuesday in Brazzaville, Congo, to commemorate the International Day of Midwives. Every year on May 5, the International Confederation of Midwives leads the world in celebrating the International Day of Midwives. The regional director praised the commitment of midwives in ensuring the safety of mothers and their newborn babies, even at the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to her, between 2000 and 2017, maternal and newborn deaths have declined by 40% in the African region. Mwete said Africa must therefore do more to appreciate the valuable contributions of midwives in healthcare teams. Countries are making strides to improve the skills and working environment for midwives. She said that in the African region, WHO had worked with countries to strengthen regulatory framework and competency-based standardized education, training and practice for midwives, including integrated training for nursing and midwifery. On 5th of May 1818, legendary philosopher and social thinker Karl Marx was born in Germany. 200 years after the birth of the father of communism, his philosophy continues to shape the history of politics, religion, and economics the world over. Matthew Shomi takes a look at the life and times of Karl Marx. His reports.
Born exactly 202 years ago, the German philosopher, economist, historian, political theorist, and journalist Karl Marx, through his philosophy and socio-political theories, did not only change the shape of civilization, but also gave the world a new direction. After his law and philosophy education in the university, Marx was devoted to critical thinking and philosophical thoughts known as Marxism, through which he explained what was right for the society, politics, economics, and development of a nation, and asserted that capitalism was the root cause of exploitation faced by the peasants and proletariat class across the world. Karl Marx, in conjunction with Friedrich Engels, published the Communist Manifesto in 1848 and wrote Der Kapital later in life, which he used to propagate complete socialism and communism as the best economic system for every nation, which said all private property should be abolished and the means of production should be owned by the producers. Some of his major quotes include, "Religion is the opium of the masses. Revolutions are locomotives of history. History repeats itself, first as tragedy, second as farce. The production of too many useful things results in too many useless things." Karl Marx died of acute bronchitis in London on 14th March 1883 as a stateless person. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
The Nigerian Air Force has winged another female helicopter pilot and 11 others at a low-key ceremony held at headquarters NAV, Abuja. The winging of the pilot symbolizes their official induction into the prestigious NAV Pilots Corps. With this, the NAV has winged over 114 pilots, among which are 5 females in the last 4.5 years, who are already undertaking various missions in different theaters of the operations across the country. Speaking on the occasion, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, expressed delight over the successful completion of the training by the young pilots. In a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikule Daramola, the Chief of the Air Staff said the 12 new pilots had their flying training both in Nigeria and abroad with 9 months comprehensive flying training program. Marshal Abubakar used the opportunity to reassure all Nigerians that the NAF remains fully committed to the successful execution of its constitutional roles and appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for providing an enabling environment for the force. The Nigerian Air Force on October 2019 made history by decorating the first female fighter pilot and first female combat helicopter pilot. Bank customers carry out 3.11 million e-transactions amid lockdown relaxation. Details and business news segments.